Welcome, welcome. This is the first time that we're doing this through Circle. So you guys need to give me your feedback and let me know what you think about all this, right? Hopefully you're able to join. It seems like we're getting a bunch of people here, so that's great, right? I'll let you guys get all settled in. All right. So yeah, like I said, today is the first time that we're doing this through Circle, which is a brand new community that we just started. Circle is very, very cool. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff through here. We're going to be doing, assuming everything goes well today, we're going to be doing lots of events through this for all of our other courses, crypto, blockchain, and some of the others. We're also going to be growing this community out so you guys can get to know each other as well. We do have a Discord community, but this kind of just adds to that a little bit, right? It's kind of a different way of being able to do this, right? Okay, cool. So how about I share my screen with you guys? There you go. I'm going to share my screen. First of all, so I want to make sure that everyone can hear me and that things are functioning properly. So if you can, please send a message into the chat. I'll be checking this periodically and let me know if you can hear me or not, right? So I'll make sure that everything is going well from a technical perspective, considering it's the first time we're using this technology. So I see a message here. Sounds good. Okay, great, perfect. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Okay, all right. So let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about getting started with algorithmic trading, and this is our agenda for today. So first of all, I want to get to know a little bit about who's on the call today. So if you guys could tell me a little bit about yourself, we'll go through that. We're going to do a little introduction on Loomi Wealth in this class. We're going to talk about algorithmic trading after that, like the theory behind it and all that. I'm going to mention some of our trading returns, although they're a little old at this point. We should probably update that. Then I'm going to show you some stuff about our code. And the exciting part, I'm going to show you a demo of our trading technology so you guys can see that, all right? And then after that, we're going to talk about the course and how you guys can learn how to do this yourselves, right? So let's get started to get to know you guys. So if you guys could type into the chat, it should be available right on your screen. Answer these 3 questions. First of all, what is your occupation? Second of all, do you know how to program or code? And third of all, how much investment experience do you have? Okay. So I'm going to be checking this chat here. Let's see. I can hear you. Good, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll be looking at this chat. So for me to answer this, right? So first of all, I'll go through and answer these questions first. So first of all, what's your occupation? So my occupation, I'm the CEO of Loomi Wealth. I'm also the head instructor for two of our classes, for our algorithmic trading course and for our crypto trading using algorithms course. So I teach both of those classes at Loomi Wealth. It's also my job to make sure that you guys are happy, that you guys are learning exactly what you want to be learning and in the way that you want to, and making sure that our instructors are happy. So we have quite a few different instructors. So it's my job to make sure that they're enjoying what they're doing and helping you guys out, right? Do you know how to program or code? Yes, I do. I've been coding for almost 25 years now. It's crazy. It's been so long. I started when I was very, very young. I was like 12 years old. So it's been quite a while, right? So yes, I do know how to code. Ask me pretty much any language. I've done C, C++, Ruby, Ruby on Rails, TypeScript, JavaScript, Java, C#, Visual Basic back in the day. Like you name a coding language that I've probably done it. There's been quite a few over the years, and of course Python being one of the most recent, or one that I use sometimes the most lately. Cool. So yeah, I know how to program code. And then how much investing experience do you have? I started investing a little before the financial crisis, so maybe since 2006, 2007. So was that almost 20 years, I guess, of investing? Maybe a little less, 15 to 20 years, something like that. Cool. So let's see what you guys wrote. So I see a couple of things here. So Jawara, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Software developer, yes, and very little. Okay, so that's great. It sounds like you would actually do quite well in this class. So you could take basically everything that you know about software engineering and apply that to building bots. So it's perfect. You're not required to know how to code to join our classes, but it definitely gives you a head start, that's for sure. Panawat, who I'm pronouncing that correctly, student, I do know how to code. Awesome. It's great. And a little bit of investment experience. It's great. Cool. So it's going to be my job to teach you guys kind of the whole spectrum of this, right? Everything from coding to actually applying that code, right? Tommy says, works in marketing, no coding experience, side investing and learning for 3+ years. That's awesome. Very cool. Welcome, Tommy. And like I said, it's not required in this class for you to know how to code, but it definitely can be helpful, but it's not a requirement, right? We do teach this stuff from scratch, right? Shane says he's an investor, basic HTML, 5 years investing experience. Cool, great. Thanks, Shane. Cassandra says, IT technician, hardware network, perfect. I know how to code a little, 1 year of investing. Cool. Cassandra, sounds like you'd be a great candidate for this course too. Avinash says software project manager, yes, and 20 years of coding of investing experience. Perfect, Avinash. Same thing. I think you'd be a great fit for this class. Kyle says railroad maintenance coding as a hobby recently. Very cool. It's definitely a very fun hobby. It's something that how I started was I was just a kid learning how to do some coding. It's a fun way to start. You have options trading bot hosted on AWS EC2. Oh, cool. Very cool. Awesome, Kyle. So I think you'd definitely be able to build some very cool stuff coming out of this. That's great. John says self-employed at many things, zero coding experience. Okay. Mark, no coding, extensive investment knowledge. Okay. Great. Thanks, Mark. And John says 6 months of investing. Okay, cool. So looks like we have a pretty diverse crowd here today. We have everything from people who've never coded in their lives before to people that have done this for a living for a while. We also have a full spectrum of people in the investment world as well. So diverse class. I'll try to tailor this as much as I can to all of you to make sure that I cover all those topics. But also keep in mind, if you have any questions, feel free to ask throughout. I'm going to be checking the chat to make sure that I'm answering your questions throughout. It's a lot better when you guys ask the questions throughout the presentation, because then you don't have to wait until the end, and it makes things a lot more interactive and a lot more fun. All right. Okay, cool. So let me take you through a quick introduction here. So first of all, who am I? Okay, so my name is Robert. I'm the CEO of Loomi Wealth. I also teach 2 of our classes. Right. We've been doing this for almost 2.5 years now, so we've been around for a little while. Before this, I used to work at a company called Voyager. You guys may have heard of it. It's a competitor to Coinbase, Voyager app. I was one of the founding members there, I guess, employee number 4, very early stage in the company. I was there before we had anything really. That was my job to help hire the right people and make sure that we architected the system properly. We brought on board a bunch of people as we went from basically being 4 people to like 40 very, very quickly. And then, fast forward a couple years, Voyager is now on the stock market worth $1.5 billion. Last time I checked. Very cool to have founded a company that large. And definitely a very good experience. Before that, I was at Greystone, which is a mortgage company. And basically what they do is they provide large scale mortgages to people who want $10 million and up. So it's my job there to create the software team and basically help build out the products and take the company into the future, basically. So I was there. And then before that, I also have a master's in finance. And like I said, been coding for a very long time. Right. Okay, so that's who I am. Been building trading bots for a number of years now too. All right, so what is Loomi Wealth? So Loomi Wealth, we created this company about 2.5 years ago, simply because of our passion in being able to improve people's investments using software. I have a very strong belief that software can improve your investments in many, many different kinds of ways. Everything from making it cheaper, making it faster, and all sorts of other things. You'll see some of the demonstrations today with bots, for example, but there's a lot more that software can do for your investing than just build bots. So we're about that. We're about building out some really cool stuff to help people make a lot more money using software. Right now we have quite a few courses. We're also working on some internal technology as well, and we're building out something that looks kind of like a hedge fund, but it's going to be a little bit with a little bit of a twist. So it is something that we're working on. All right, I was checking here your chat. Okay, cool. So that's myself. That's Loomi Wealth. Right. Another thing I got to mention is that you guys should follow us on YouTube. I'm going to put this link into the chat because this afterwards will be put up on YouTube. So if you guys, it's auto playing, this thing will automatically, after we're done here, will be on YouTube, and you'll be able to rewatch this and see the recordings and everything of what you just watched today. So make sure you check us out on YouTube. You can search in YouTube for Loomi Wealth, or you can click on the link that I sent you. I don't have it here because I'm the one that owns the channel, but make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell to make sure you get all the updates for things we put out, because we put out a lot of content on here. We have lots and lots of videos that you can go through, everything on blockchain, options trading, machine learning. We interview CEOs of different investment funds. There's lots and lots of free stuff on here. So make sure you sign up and hit that subscribe button, right? Okay, cool. So that's our YouTube. Another thing that you guys would probably be very interested in is our Discord channel. I'm gonna put the link in for that as well. And so we have a community here on Circle that you guys are already a part of. If you're part of this recording, or if you're listening to this live, you're already in our Circle channel, which is brand new. But our community has been around for much longer is our Discord community. We literally have, I think, over 1,000 people now in this community, so it's gotten quite large, right? You'll see a lot of people that were past students. You'll see current students in there. You'll see people that are simply just interested in the space. So if you want to know anything about algorithmic trading, or you want to get to know people that have taken the courses, ask them what's up, or anything else really to do with blockchain or algo trading or investing in general using software, this is the place to be. And there's very, very active discussions around here, and it's a great way to get to know other people and build that. If you become a student, you also get access to a lot of the private channels as well. You see here, a lot of these are locked up, right? So you will get access to these private channels when you actually join as a student, right? Including our discussion hour, which takes place twice a week, and it's kind of like a voice conversation. It's actually really cool. There's a lot of really good trading ideas that have come from that, right? I'm going to delete this here because we don't have a survey at the end of the webinar. We used to, but we're not on Zoom anymore. And then again, please make sure you ask questions throughout the presentation. I'm going to keep checking the chat every once in a while, but interactive presentations are the best. They're definitely the most interesting. So feel free to ask questions as we go through this. I'm going to check. I don't see any new questions here, but make sure you post them in there. Don't wait until the end, because it's a lot more interesting when presentations are interactive. That's the whole point of this. It's live. We don't give recordings specifically because we believe live has a lot of advantages. All right. Okay, cool. So let's dive into it, right? So first of all, what is algorithmic trading and why do we care? All right. So algorithmic trading is basically using software to analyze data and to make trades, right? Not always is it going to be placing trades for you. It could also give you notifications. But the important thing is that you're using software to analyze lots and lots of data on the internet. So you could basically look at, if we're talking about trading crypto, we could be looking at sentiment on Twitter, or what are people talking about on Discord or whatever. If we're talking about, maybe the market as a whole, we could be watching economic indicators as they're coming out. Did they increase interest rates? Did they not? Is unemployment higher than expected or not? Right? You could use all those factors to automatically make your trading decisions. You could also watch companies, how their earnings come out. If they had better than expected earnings, you could buy it automatically, that sort of thing. You could also use technical analysis. A lot of people like doing this, doing your typical, crossovers and things like that, MACDs or what have you. You could also use machine learning to look through trades, right? Basically like artificial intelligence you could use to trade for you. There's a lot of really cool things that you could do using algorithms. They're much faster. They can look at a lot more data than human beings can, and they don't sleep, right? So especially if you're trading markets are 24 hours, like crypto never sleeps, right? What if something happens when you're asleep, right? What if something happens when you're in a meeting at work, right? You're not going to be able to sit in front of your computer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is impossible. You need to sleep at some point and, take a shower or whatever, right? So, these computers can basically be watching the market for you constantly, looking for anything unusual, looking for, what if the earnings came out worse, or what if there's some scandal with a company you're investing in? Whatever it is, the algorithms can automatically pay attention to all this stuff and trade for you, right? And again, so it doesn't have to necessarily place a trade. It could also just give you analysis, right? Like some people use a lot of our algorithms or technology to analyze, I have this trading strategy. Would this strategy have worked if I had done this over the past 10 years, like back test it, right? A lot of people opt to do that sort of thing, right? Or you could just download, all the information about all the stocks in the S&P and do your own analysis on it, however you want to do that, right? There's a lot of really cool things you can do with software when it comes to trading and investing, right? And check here again for, Okay, cool. So, but yeah, don't take my word for it. I very strongly believe in this, right? And I think it's easy to see why. But I mean, don't take my word for it. There's been some very successful companies in this space, right? So one of the most successful hedge funds of all time, I think the most successful company of all time, hedge fund of all time, is Renaissance Technologies. Okay. These guys have been making an average annual return of 39% per year for the past 30 years, okay, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? So we're talking here 39% on average. Last year they made like 120%. You thought you did well, these guys did even better. And they're doing this with billions of dollars, 110 billion in assets last time I checked, right? Sometimes it's actually easier to make money when you're smaller. As you get bigger, it gets harder and harder to make money, right? So it's pretty impressive that they're making that kind of money with such a large sum, right? Another thing is that it's 39% on average. Again, you have years that are much better, years that are worse. But also they've only lost money like 1/4 out of all 30 years. So that means tech crash, they didn't lose money. 2008, they didn't lose money. Last year, they didn't lose money. These guys have been very consistently making extremely good returns over a very long time period, okay? So let's put that into perspective, right? So the stock market on average makes about 10% a year, right? This is why people tell you invest in stock market. It's a very good idea, right? But at 10% using compounding, right? Because we're compounding our returns here. It's not 10%, the 10%, the 10% you're going to have $1,000 starting off. At 10%, you'll have 1,100. The year after that, you'll have not 1,200, but $1,211, right? You're going to keep growing that way exponentially, right? So $1,000 after about 30 years would turn into 17,500, which is great. I mean, that's very nice for doing nothing, really. Just put your money in and forget about it, right? But if you were Renaissance Technologies, you'd be making 39% a year instead of the 10%, right? Because they're making 39%. So, okay, that's 4 times more per year. But because of compounding, it's a lot more than 4 times more in the long run, right? Maybe after 1 year, you'll have 4 times more. But in the long run, after 30 years, instead of having your 17,000, you end up with $19.5 million, right? These guys are insanely rich. There's a really interesting book that was written about these guys. A Man Who Saw the Market is a fantastic book about the guy that started this hedge fund, right? Named Jim Simmons. Okay, it's a biography of him. Very, very interesting book. And I'll put the link in here too because it's super, super interesting. I just noticed that you guys actually wrote some questions. Still getting used to this new technology. Sorry, I'll answer your questions in 1 second. So this book is super interesting because you get to hear about how they kind of went from trying to figure out how these things work. They didn't know, it took them about a year or so until the algorithms really started to make them any kind of money. This is back in the 80s when you had like those really cheap computers. So it was actually a pretty major technical challenge to build this stuff. But after the first year, they started making some money. Then they started making a lot more money, then a lot more money. And eventually, you know, we're talking about if you could turn $1,000 into 19 million, imagine if you can get investors that give you millions of dollars, right? These guys just became stupid rich. It's like these guys are talking about buying houses and forgetting they even existed. It's like, oh wow, I forgot I bought this thing a while ago. It's like it's a giant mansion. Like basically, these guys had like a cash printing machine in their office. It's wild how much money they made. Definitely recommend reading that book. It is super interesting if you're interested in the space. Okay, so we got a couple questions here. This web-based webinar has been very glitchy so far. Crashed every couple minutes. Very annoying. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Thanks for feedback, Raj. You know, this is again, we're using new technology right now, so there could be issues with it. So thank you for that feedback, and I'll definitely we'll consider maybe even switching back to Zoom next time. Tommy says, is it legal to use your trading bot in your exchange account, Coinbase Pro, Binance, there to execute trades automatically? Absolutely, it's legal. Yeah, it's definitely legal. They provide API keys and they help you do this. So, you know, Coinbase Pro, for example, has APIs specifically to make you do this, right? To allow you to do this. Binance, same thing. We connect to these guys. So yeah, it is absolutely legal to do this. It's definitely something you're allowed to do. They encourage you to do it, actually. Kyle asks, speaking of back testing, do you have a video on YouTube already, or will you be doing one? So what do you mean by video? We have lots of videos on YouTube. It depends what you're looking for in particular. We have lots of videos on some of our algorithms if you want to see those. We have videos on, you know, showing some demos. So I'm going to show you some demos today too. And you'll see some back testing results. I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly, but there are lots of videos on our YouTube. Yes. And we'll be covering a bit of that today as well. Yeah. So Cassandra says, honestly, that's why I was interested in algorithmic trading, so I wouldn't have to sit on a computer all the time. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. People who do day trading, they're like glued to their screens and they can't leave, you know? So Tommy says, would the exchanges even allow you to implement the bot to execute trades though? Yeah, Tommy, absolutely they do. Not every exchange has APIs that you can connect to. But you know, we use Alpaca is one that I'm a big fan of. If you take our crypto trading class, it's going to be Coinbase Pro, Binance. We're going to be connecting KuCoin soon. Almost every single one of the crypto brokers have APIs and you connect to. And then for stocks, we use Interactive Brokers and Alpaca, and we're adding in TradeStation as we speak. So we'll have those three brokers there as well. All right. All right. So Kyle says exchanges offer API access you can use to implement algo trades. Yes, exactly. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Robert. Yeah. Thanks, Tommy. Okay, FYI presentation is working great for me. Love it. Okay, thanks, Pat. That's awesome. Great. So this is a new technology that Circle just came out with. They released this like 2 months ago, so I'm not surprised if they have some glitches, but I'm glad, Pat, that it's working well for you. So thank you for that feedback too. Kyle, Loomi bot back tester, I've been trying to implement it. Yeah, so I mean, this entire class is about, the class that you take here will teach you how to do that, right? To take it from beginning to end, right? So if you're interested in taking our classes, we'll talk about that at the end on how, you know, you can learn how to do that yourself. But there's also a pretty extensive documentation if you know how to code. There's a lot of documentation out there. There's showing off a few different algorithms on our YouTube page as well. I believe if you go on our YouTube here, you go under playlists and you go to strategy demos, you can see a few demos, right? So here's 4 of them. We're going to be adding in more, but there's like the Reddit one, there's a technical analysis one, diversified leverage and economic indicators. I'll be showing you a couple of these demos today as well. Maybe I'll just play these for you because there are ones that we'll see how that goes. But we do have a couple here. I'm going to be adding in more demos as well. And then there's a documentation to help you implement it. And we'll also be talking about it a little bit today as well, right? And again, also Discord is another very useful thing too, right? Okay, so anyways, thanks for those questions, guys. Let me check to make sure I got through all of them. There you go. No glitches. Presentation is fine. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mark. So I guess one person's just having issues so far. So 1 out of 3 ain't too bad so far for brand new technology. Okay, cool. So that's Renaissance. These guys have done incredibly well. The Renaissance and Renaissance, by the way, they build trading algorithms, right? So they're a hedge fund that basically uses computers to trade for them. They do all sorts of different things. If you read up on them, they pioneered a lot of really cool trading algorithm techniques, right? You can read up on it. They're very secretive, so you're not going to know all their latest stuff. They do that on purpose, right? But they have really brought the industry forward quite a bit, and they've done a lot of work in it. But Renaissance is not the only company doing this. Two Sigma is another one does this. Last time I checked, they had 60 billion in assets, probably a lot bigger by now. So I checked this about a year ago. I bet you this is probably double by now. Again, they also use algorithms to trade. They make quite a bit of money. Last time I checked, they beat the stock market very consistently without taking on crazy risk. Citadel is another one that really makes a lot of money. These guys are huge at this point. They're a giant company, and their hedge fund is extremely profitable, makes tons and tons of money. They do market making, high frequency trading, that type of stuff. Bridgewater is another one, very large. I think this is the biggest hedge fund in the world, run by Ray Dalio. They use a lot of data science within what they do there as well, right? So they're very heavily based on computers. I know a couple people that work there. They don't talk too much about it because it's super secretive, but I could tell you they definitely use a lot of algos within there. And then D.E. Shaw is another really interesting one. And this one, you guys will probably recognize someone that actually worked here before, right? And so D.E. Shaw is, again, another hedge fund that basically uses software to trade. They're one of the pioneers of this, one of the early stage people. I think they've been around since the 80s or 90s, right? And very, very successful. And one person that that used to work there is Jeff Bezos, right? So the story goes, Jeff, in his 20s, went to go work on Wall Street. He went to go work at this company in particular, D.E. Shaw. And he was basically spending a lot of time working with computers, looking at data, right? And basically, after looking through all that data, right, he found that the internet was just growing super, super fast, found that to be a really good opportunity, came up with the idea for Amazon, quit D.E. Shaw, and the rest is basically history, right? Now, one of the richest people in the world, whether it's him or Elon Musk on today, they keep flipping around, but one of the richest people on the planet, right? And he got his ideas from working at D.E. Shaw. That's where the idea of Amazon came from, right? So when you're working on these types of things, algorithms, going through financial data, you're in very good company. There's some very, very wealthy people. People have made a lot of money doing this sort of thing, including some of the world's billionaires, right? Here are some of our trading returns. These are a little data at this point. I need to update this, but if you want to take a look at, this one snapshot from one of our accounts in 1 year, and this was, I believe it was last year, right? And it was in that time period, the S&P 500 did 17%. In the same time period, we did 53%, right? So we smoked the stock market by quite a bit, right? So if you're interested in seeing some of our trading results, so you can see that there, right? Okay, cool. So actually, before we continue, let me check. No glitches. Thank you. Also, I noticed docs don't seem to be complete for the back testing we bought for options. Yeah, we're gonna be updating the documentation specifically around options back testing. It is a little bit more involved for options, which is why it's not up there yet. But it's something that I plan on updating actually fairly soon. I was literally speaking with our dev team about that today. So we'll have the docs updated for options back testing as well, right? So Cassandra says, so I remember that Bezos story, but didn't know about D.E. Shaw was the company you worked for. Yeah, it's very cool. So definitely, if you're getting into algo trading, you're in very good company. Lots of very successful people have worked in this field. Absolutely. Okay, so here's our code. If you guys are coders, or some of you guys are coders, if you're interested, you could check us out on GitHub. Search for LoomiBot. There's one project that we've made. There's a lot of code they get if you join our classes. But this is our open source tech that we've spent quite a bit of time developing. It's been tens of thousands of dollars poured into this, and over 2 years of development, several different devs on it. It's very active, and we're constantly adding in newer features. We're adding in actually crypto trading capabilities right now. So when if you guys decide to take this course that starts in about 2 weeks, you guys will actually be able to trade crypto as well. So you guys will be the first group to be able to do that. So definitely very exciting. All right. So if you guys want to check it out, so you know that we actually do know what we're talking about, and we have spent quite a bit of time developing these things. This is one of our developers, Neil. This is myself, Slim, who used to be on the team, and one person that just recently joined. I don't know why he's not on here. I guess because he hasn't pushed anything yet on the master branch. But cool. Okay, so that's our code. So if you want to, learn a little bit about us, you can see it there as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So so that's kind of a nice little introduction. Let me check if you guys have any questions here. No. Okay. So what I'm going to do for you now is this is probably the thing that you guys are most interested in seeing, right? I'm going to show you a demo of a couple of our trading bots working live, right? So I can't show you them working live right now because the markets are closed. Although if you join our crypto trading webinars, I could actually show you like crypto trading live, right? There's also strategy demos here. So if you're interested, I'm going to post this link in there, our strategy demos. I'm also going to post a link to the one that I'm going to play. They're both good. They kind of show the same sort of thing. This one's one that I recorded now a couple months ago at this point. It's been a little while since this one was recorded, but it was during live trading hours, so you'll be able to see how this technology actually works. And let me know what you guys think. So without further ado, I'm going to play this for you guys. I am going to do my best to answer questions. I'm going to join this on my phone as well, and I'll be answering your chats from another account. All right. So let me play this for you guys and let me know what you think. Cool. Okay. So let's get into the demo. All right. So this is, I'm going to show you a couple of different trading strategies that we show you, first of all, in the courses, and that you can employ yourself. It's pretty easy for you to get these up and running. I've had people that have never coded a day in their lives and have these strategies running within just a few weeks. So even if you don't know how to code, don't feel like you have to shy away from this, whatever. I'm going to be showing you a bunch of code here, but really it's not that difficult to learn. We've been able to teach a lot of people that have never coded before in their lives, right? Okay, so here, let's show you a demo of some of our different trading strategies. Yeah. So there's a couple I want to show you today. We have some new ones, like I was saying. Okay. So I want to show you, first of all, our fast trading strategy, just because a lot of people, whenever they think algo trading, they want to be able to trade really quickly, get in and out of things very fast, and analyze a lot of things. So what I'm doing here is I'm running this fast trading strategy. If you see here, we go into our broker. It was nothing, and now it bought a whole bunch of stuff automatically by itself. Okay. And let me describe to you essentially what this strategy is doing. Okay. Here is the code. The code is fairly straightforward. It's not that long, right? So it looks like 160 lines of code, but a lot of it is boilerplate stuff, and a lot of it is like kind of just tracking things and whatnot. It's very easy for you guys to get something like this up and running. Essentially, what it does is it looks at these symbols here, right? SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, Tesla, etc. Right? We're looking at all those symbols and basically saying which one has done the best over the past 1 minute, right? And whichever one did the best, has had a momentum, the best momentum, it keeps the top 4, okay? And it'll keep swapping them out. So if we watch this here, we see the top 4 we have right now is TLT, XPXS, XPXL, and MCHI. Those are best over 1 minute. You see that it just swapped. We just bought some gold. So it sold TLT and it bought gold. Okay? And if we leave this running, you'll see basically you'll do this all day long, right? You don't have to be in front of your computer. You could have this thing running in the cloud. You can have this thing running off your computer. And it'll just keep trading for you all day long, right? Now, this is a strategy that follows momentum,
But you could just as easily do a lot of other things with this, right? You could use technical analysis for this, right? I know a lot of people like looking at charts and support resistance, that sort of thing. You could use that, right? You could use things like RSI or pivot points or VWAP, right? You could use all those types of things to influence which stocks you want to own and have like a, we have our top 10 stocks, and based on our criteria, we keep the top 4, and you can trade throughout the day doing that sort of thing. So this is very flexible. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this. And this is just a demo to kind of show you, this fast trading, how it moves in and out. If we give it another minute, it should actually flip things around. We'll give it, so it executes once every minute. If we give it a little bit more time, it'll swap things out. Oh, there you go. Okay, I just did that. So it sold the gold. Remember, you guys saw the gold. It sold that, and it sold our MCHI. So we sold 2 of those things, and it bought SPY and it bought Microsoft, right? And that's because those have been the ones that are doing the best over the past minute, and just kind of hold on to them, right? It's just a simple momentum strategy. But like I said, there's a lot of other things that you could convert this into. Use any kind of technical analysis you want, or any kind of criteria that you want to do this sort of trading, right? This is something I'll be like throughout the day, intraday, quickly getting in and out of things, right? All right, okay, so that's our fast trading strategy. Let's show you our technical analysis strategy, right? Because this one is, we could basically take what we did in the last one, okay? And we can do the same thing, or we could use essentially, what we did in the last one. We could apply this sort of stuff for technical analysis type of stuff, right? So what this one does is it's sorry, there's a question here on chat. I want to do trading, day trading will help me with that. Yes, absolutely, will help you with day trading. Yeah. So the last strategy that I just showed you, the fast trading, is very well suited for day trading, right? So what you would do is you would take something like that and combine it with maybe a technical, it depends on how you trade, right? If you trade, support resistance, if you trade using VWAP, if you trade using some sort of technical analysis, RSIs or Bollinger Bands or whatever, we could implement all that kind of stuff, right? So here is a technical analysis strategy. This one trades a little slower, but you can mix the two together, right? You can make it so that the last one that we had takes the top 4 stocks, right? This one, what it does is it trades based off of RSI, right? So it looks at the RSI of SPY, right? And if RSI falls below 33, okay, so it's looking at the RSI for SPY, and it has 2 stocks that it trades, okay? It has SPY and TLT, okay? It has the 2 of them, okay? And they're normally 60-40, which is kind of like what investment advisors recommend, 60% stocks, 40% bonds, right? But when the RSI gets too high on SPY, which means kind of like it's overbought, right, is what we call it with RSI terms. When it's overbought, then we say, okay, let's get out of SPY and only buy TLT. So we sell our SPY, go 100% to TLT. And then the opposite situation, when SPY falls too much and the RSI is low, then we will sell all of our TLT and only buy SPY, right? So it's changing weightings in our stocks based off of this criteria of a technical analysis, right? Technical indicator, okay? So if we see it trading right now, you'll see it bought 60-40 SPY, so 60% of money of 50,000 is put into SPY automatically, right? And TLT, the other 20,000, right? The other 40%. Okay. If this is a time when SPY was too high, it would automatically sell SPY and get into TLT. Or if the opposite happened, if SPY fell a lot, it will do the flip as well. You could do this much faster. You could do this with many stocks throughout the day. And you can use a lot of other types of technical analysis as well. So we use this library, right? You could use Bollinger Bands, right? You could use, some of these things, I don't even know what they are. Average true range, you could use that. Bollinger Bands, you could use moving averages, crossing, you could use MACD, all sorts of different things that you could use to trade with. RSI, stochastic RSI, right? Lots and lots of different things that you could use to trade. And you can trade throughout the day, buying and selling things automatically based on your criteria, right? You don't have to be at your computer. You don't have to be paying attention to it. You can set up stop losses automatically, all that kind of stuff you can get through the bot, right? Okay, so that's our technical analysis strategy, right? Okay. I'm going to show you some cool new ones that we just made, right? So this is one that I think will probably resonate with a lot of you guys. This is a really fun one that we actually just created, and I'm actually in the process of testing exactly how well it does, but it is definitely a very interesting strategy. This is not the right, okay, we're going to get out of this. So this is a strategy that we call Reddit sentiment, okay? You get access to this strategy. If you join our classes, you get access to this strategy within our classes, right? We'll give this to you. You can use this, you can modify this. It's part of our library of different algorithms, right? Okay, so let me run this one here, okay? And let me explain to you kind of what it's doing, all right? So this strategy, what it does is it goes to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wall Street Bets. I feel like this has blown up in popularity recently. And of course, you guys, if you guys follow this sort of thing or know about this sort of thing, it's been influencing a lot of stocks lately, right? The increases in GameStop was because of this channel on Reddit. Basically, I think it's now, when I last checked, there's 1 million, but someone told me there's 4 million people on here. Everyone's discussing stocks, talking about, what to buy, what to sell, that sort of thing. And it actually has quite a bit of predictive power where, GameStop shot up a lot because of what happened on Wall Street Bets. There's some people that got going and basically went through the roof, right? GameStop, AMC was another one that's like a big, we call it meme stock or Wall Street Bet stock. And there's a few other ones that are happening more recently, like Wish, and a few other ones that maybe you guys have missed out on. But if you had this bot that we've built out here, you won't have to, right? So what it does is it automatically downloads the hot topics within Wall Street Bets, right? Downloads, you could specify exactly how much you want to download, right? And then it looks over all of those topics, reads all the comments, and uses some artificial intelligence, uses a bit of machine learning type stuff to figure out which stocks have the best sentiment, okay? And sentiment being whether people are saying they like them or not, right? I hate Wish, or I love Wish, or I think Wish is going to the moon, right? It's going to read all those comments and tell you which stocks are, first of all, talked about the most and which ones have the best sentiment. So we see here, Apple, for example, does not have a very good sentiment. It's widely talked about. People don't seem to like it on Wall Street Bets right now. Ones that they do like is this one here, 0.43 Wish. This one's been a hot topic for a while. If you look at the stock charts, by the way, it's gone up a lot. It's doubled over the past week or two, right? So that sentiment is high up there. We have GOEV. I don't even know what that is. This is talking about, people are talking about this on Wall Street Bets. But in either case, what it did is automatically read all that kind of stuff and then bought the top ones for you, right? So let's take a look here. Boom. These are all the top stocks on Wall Street Bets, right? It will automatically hold on to these and read actually these comments throughout the day and throughout the weeks. You could have this running in a server, running on your computer. It will automatically buy, in this case, the top 4 stocks that are talked about on Wall Street Bets. Not only the ones that are the most popular, but also the ones that people have the best sentiment for, that people say they really like. Look at that. We just bought them and all of a sudden our money is already starting to go up. It's kind of fun to watch. Yeah, so this is a very interesting strategy. We're going to be actually testing this over the next little bit, and I'm thinking about putting some of our own funds money into this as well. All right, so look at that. We literally just bought it, and look at what happened to our stock price. Like it's literally within a minute, it's shooting up like crazy, right? And what this strategy will do is it'll just keep reading this all day long, right? And see, has it changed, right? If sentiments have changed, it will get rid of it, right? Or if sentiments have gone up for one, it will buy it, right? So automatically be doing this stuff all day long. All right, definitely really cool. It's amazing how fast it's going up. So we have a question here. I have no coding experience. Will this program sync it to my trading platform and auto execute the trades? It depends what trading platform you use, right? So if you have no coding experience, I wouldn't be too worried about it. We have a lot of people in our classes with no coding experience, and they've all been able to get bots up and running. So I wouldn't be too surprised about that. I wouldn't be too worried about that, right? Whether it links to your trading platform, it depends on what trading platform you're using, right? We have 2 brokers that we work with right off the bat. Yeah, so we use Alpaca, we use Interactive Brokers, and we're going to be adding in TradeStation soon. That's the next one that we're adding in. So if you use TradeStation, we'll probably have this built in within the next like 2 months, right? So we are definitely going to be adding that in soon, right? For Thinkorswim, they don't have API access. They have API access to something called TD Ameritrade. They don't give you access to the Thinkorswim platform. It's kind of a little weird there. So we recommend, actually, if you want to do like algo trading, TD Ameritrade is really not the best, right? They don't allow you to do paper trading, that sort of thing. And to be honest with you, it's really easy to switch brokers, right? Like to open up an account with Alpaca, like honestly, I think you can do this within 5 minutes, right? It's really easy to do that. So we work with them. We work with interactive brokers. We're going to be adding in TradeStation very soon. And then we're going to keep adding in more and more as we go. So you definitely have a lot of options there. This is amazing. Look at this. We literally just bought this and we're already making like a bunch of money. The stock chart just shooting straight up. Yeah, changing brokers. Yeah, I agree with you, right? Changing brokers is not very difficult. It's really easy to do that. I really like TradeStation. They have great APIs, so we're going to be working with them soon. They also have crypto. They have futures. They have a lot of other stuff. So TradeStation's a really good one that we're going to be adding in. It's amazing, guys. I got to start running my own money in this strategy. We literally just built this like 2 days ago, so we're still testing it out. But it's amazing. Look at this. Literally, in the course of this conversation, we've already made what, like $300 or something like that. It's just in the course of our talking right now. Cool strategy, right? So that's our Reddit trading strategy. If you have no coding experience, really not that hard for you guys to get this up and running. It's part of our code library, so you can actually start off with this. You can modify it however you want. You don't have to be an expert programmer to do this stuff, guys. You don't have to be some like whiz kid, because we give you a lot of these templates that you can start off with, right? Okay, cool. So that's a Reddit sentiment. I'm going to show you one more. That one actually is really cool. I gotta run that one. I'm going to do that after this. Going to run in the cloud and have it go for a few days, test it out for a couple of days, because that's pretty impressive how well it did that quickly. Like I said, we just built this one like 2 days ago. Another one I want to show you guys, and this is one that we actually just put a bunch of our money into. I really like this strategy, and I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why through a back test, okay? So we teach you not only how to build the bots, we also teach you how to do the research behind it, as to, you know, how are you going to be picking a strategy? Is this a good strategy for you to do or not, right? How do you find these strategies? And this is one way they can figure out whether a strategy is good for you or not, okay? What I'm doing right now is I'm running a back test, okay? So there's a back test for a strategy that we call diversified leverage, okay? And basically what we're doing is we're going from 2012, right? We're doing this because some of these ticker symbols didn't exist until 2012. From 2012 until 2021, so 9 years, okay? And we're seeing how would our strategy have done over the past 9 years? What kind of results would we have gotten, all right? So the strategy in particular, the one that we're doing, is called this diversified leverage strategy, okay? And basically what it is this is like modern portfolio theory, right? If you talk to someone like a Ray Dalio, or you talk to like some of the most prominent investors in the world, they'll tell you diversify well. And the reason why you diversify well is because you want to make sure that you reduce your risk. If you reduce your risk, you can take on more, you can actually take on more risk and make more money, right? Essentially. So what this is we have a bunch of different ticker symbols we're in here. We're in the leveraged NASDAQ, so TQQQ, right? So it's the triple NASDAQ, right? So 3x the returns of the NASDAQ. If you look at the stock chart on this thing, it's wild. It's like up 1,600% in 2 years, just like that. It's crazy, right? But of course, also has this risk. There's a downside as well, right? So we want to protect against that. So we have 20% of our money into that. 10% of our money into UPRO, which is the leveraged S&P 500, 3x leveraged. Then we have 10% of our money into UDOW, which is a leveraged Dow Jones. Then we have 10% of our money in emerging markets, right? Leveraged emerging markets, right? 35% of our money in leveraged treasury bonds. So now we diversify, right? So we have in total 50% of our money in stocks, right? In leveraged stocks, right? And diversified around the world a little bit, right? And then we have the rest of our money in something to counterbalance that, right? To reduce our risks, to give us some good hedging, and to improve our returns without taking on too much risk, right? So we do that by having leveraged treasury bonds. So usually when stocks fall, treasuries go up and vice versa. So they're a really good hedge to have in a portfolio. We also have Barclays VIX, right? This is an interesting one. Basically, you lose money regularly, But when things fall apart, if like the stock market crashes, it'll go like up 5x. You'll make 500% of your money in like a day, right? And that's a really good hedge because if things fall, you want to be able to protect yourself, right? And we also have 5% of our money in gold. So this is the one that actually I've put some of our money into, right? Not all, but some good chunk of our money into this strategy. And I'll tell you why, right? When we look at the back test, what we can see here is, look at this. So this strategy, okay, over that same time period, right? Over this 2012 to 2021, that 9 years there. So January 1st, 2012 to January 1st, 2021, right? So 9 years, yeah. Over that time period, the S&P 500 was up 17.5%, which is nice, great. If you're in this strategy, you would have made 28.9%. You would have almost doubled the stock market's returns, okay? Which is amazing, right? Like obviously that's, if you guys do the math behind this, this is the difference between when you retire, you could retire with $1 million versus 10 million, right? That's like the difference, right? Like it's a very, very large difference when you have double the stock market's returns. Huge payouts. This could be worth $9 million to you in the future. I mean, this kind of differential, right? But okay, so it's great to have a higher returns. That's awesome, right? But we're not just talking about higher returns here. We're talking about higher returns while taking on the same amount or less risk, okay? So over that same time period, so we doubled the stock market's returns, but we also had only a little bit of increase in our volatility. It's not too much more volatile, meaning this up and down thing. And our max drawdown is almost exactly the same, right? So meaning from the peak to the bottom, right? This is in last year, right? March, 2020, stock market fell 30%. From the very top to the very bottom, it fell 33%, okay? If you were invested in this strategy, you would have also only lost about 33% at the same time period. So we have the same risk as the stock market, but we're making double the returns. That to me sounds incredibly impressive, right? Which is why we're putting some of our money into this, right? We diversify among different strategies. We don't put everything into one, but this was one when we're looking at 30% of year returns, sounds very appealing to me, right? So this one went ahead. When we go in here, you could see it automatically bought all these things for us, right? All the different ones. This would be a pain, by the way, to do on your own. And the key is that it doesn't just buy these, it rebalances. And that's the key here, right? Because you'll have days like, for example, TQQQ will shoot up, in a week's time, will shoot up 100%, just something like that. When it shoots up 100%, you want to rebalance your portfolio and put money somewhere else. And that's how you actually get the safety along with the very good gains, right? It's intelligent portfolio construction, and that's how you end up making all the money. That's why having like a robot that'll automatically look at the stuff and rebalance for you is really important, because that's how you're actually going to end up with these returns. You can't just go and buy them and that's it, right? You actually have to be rebalancing and trading them on a regular basis, right? So I very much like this strategy as well. We have our own money, like I said, in this as well, and so far been doing, we've been making good money. So I'm happy with it so far. All right, cool. All right, so that's a couple of our strategies. We've showed you everything from our day trading, to trading off of Reddit, to, building intelligent portfolios. I have a few more that I can show you guys. We have a whole library, like I said, there's tons of different things. We have things where we trade off of like macroeconomic things where we use like the debt, where the Fed Reserve, that they take on debt, we trade off of that. We're building out a bunch of options trading strategies as well. Which we're going to have a separate webinar to kind of explain a bunch of that stuff where, you could trade volatility and all that sort of thing. We have lots and lots of different strategies, and we just keep growing more and more of them. So if you guys join our courses, not only are we going to teach you how to do this stuff, we're going to give you access to that big library. So you'll be able to either use it right out of the box, or, modify it to do whatever you want it to do. You'll have access to that sort of stuff. All right. Cool. So that's the demo.
All right, guys. So what did you think? I saw a couple of your comments here, so I already replied to them directly in the chat, but I'll just talk about it a little bit. So asking, so I'm just trying to see where it started. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So here's that the YouTube playlist I posted. So Tommy asked, would the spot work for options trading as well? Yes, it does. We actually have an entire class on just options trading, if that's something you're interested in. really goes into details. Trading options is a little bit more complex, but still something that's very possible in doing with our technology like Loomi bot. You can back test option strategies in the past too, which is super, super valuable. A lot of people say, I want to trade options. I have this specific strategy. It's really useful to be able to back test that as well, right? So Mark asks, so can we trade futures with a bot? Yes, you can. So you can trade both options and futures, right? And crypto soon too. We're adding in crypto. Cassandra says, need to get on Reddit again. Yeah, definitely very useful. Tommy asked about the recording where it will be available. And yeah, it'll be on the YouTube channel and on our website. We'll also send out an email with the recording after this as well. Usually we send it like the next day, but you can see it here in these two different spots on our YouTube channel or on our website. If you go to the website, then it's going to be the past recording right now. We update it like usually like a day or two afterwards, right? So you could even see the last time that we did this recording. Tommy says, "Soul, take my money." It sounds great, Tommy. I hope to see you in class. It would be awesome. Jawara, it doesn't seem like this would take a great deal of processing power. Is that correct? Yeah, that's definitely true. This is not, most bots don't have that much requirement in terms of processing power. So yeah, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. The exceptions are like if you're doing like some really large amounts of data, or if you're using machine learning, those can be a lot more intense on your computer. But we don't spend too much time going through stuff like that in this class. So most of the strategies don't require a ton of processing power. So that's correct. Cassandra says, yes, the research was what killed my last 2K in the market. I can't seem to get it down. Is most of the code in Python? Yeah, this whole class is all in Python, Cassandra. And yeah, I mean, this is why backtesting is so useful, right? Like, you put some money into the market and it's like, well, you want to make sure that you're doing something that makes sense, right? Instead of, following what, your friends around you are saying or what the news is saying. It's a lot better to be able to put together a strategy, back test it, make sure that it works. It doesn't guarantee that it'll work in the future, but if it's worked in the past, there's a much better chance of it working in the future. If you back test something and it's bad, I can almost guarantee you we're just going to lose money in the future. If you back test something that's good, there's a good chance you'll make money. Not guaranteed, but there's a good chance you'll make money in the future as well. So the back testing component is really, really valuable. Mark asks, can you run multiple strategies concurrently? Yes, you can. You can absolutely do that. And I do think it's actually good practice because some strategies do better in different situations. And if you look at some of these big hedge funds, what they do is they actually run multiple strategies at once. And they have like a smart thing on top of it that's saying, oh, put more money into this strategy and more money into this strategy. And they kind of like change that sort of thing. Because some strategies work really well when the stock market's falling. Some do really well when it's going up. Others do well in specific events, right? So it depends. So, and that's because, this different nature of these things. So running a couple concurrently is actually, I think, a very good idea. And we support that out of the box. It's very easy to add that in. John says, awesome. Already have accounts, all those except Binance. This is great. Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, John. And then Pat says, can I get started experimenting with Loomibot without taking any of your classes? Yeah, you can. If you want to check out our what's it called? Our GitHub page. You'll see that the documentation's there, right? You're more than welcome to check that out. It's open source. You can start building stuff there. In this class, of course, we'll teach you how to do that thing from A to Z, right? How to, first of all, get started with coding, how to get set up on a computer, how to back test, how to trade, how to connect to brokerages. And we'll also give you lots of examples as well. You saw that there's a very large set of code that you get when taking this class too. So you don't have to take the class, but you can, if you take the class, we'll definitely take you to that next level and possibly help you avoid some mistakes because, it is real money. So we want to make sure that we do things properly. Okay, cool. So thank you for all those questions, guys. So let me tell you about our course, and I'm going to put this link inside of the chat as well so that you guys have it handy. No problem, Pat. So let's go into the actual course itself. So if you guys are interested in learning this kind of stuff, we have an entire class on this, right? This one's 12 weeks long. The live classes are the ones that people really love taking with this, right? But let me talk to you about a couple of the plans that we have, and I'll take you through our curriculum and all that as well. So there are 3 different plans that we offer for our courses: self-directed, live, and project help tutoring. They each get successively more involved than the next, right? So everything inside of self-directed is also included in live. Everything in live is included in project help. Okay, these get more and more help as we go on, right? So we have our self-directed plan, which basically gives you access to all of the video recordings of our classes and gives you access to our community, all those locked things that I showed you earlier here. Like there's a bunch of like locked channels that you get access to. And then you also, and our discussion hour and all that, where you can learn from other people that are building algorithms too, and kind of collaborate and talk about strategies. Lots of really cool stuff that comes out of discussion hour. So you get access to the videos, you get access to the video recordings, you get access to our community, and you also get access to all that code, right? So all those strategies I showed you, you'll have access to every single one of those, plus any of the ones that we add in the future and any modifications we make to them. So you have lifetime access to the videos and to the code, right? And to our community, right? That's what the self-directed plan. Okay. Then the live classes plan is all of that plus more, right? So you get, access to the videos immediately when you buy this. So even if the class doesn't start for a little bit, you get access to all the videos right away. You get access to all the code right away, and you get access to all the community. Plus, you get to join live classes, right? So this is we're using Circle right now. We won't be doing this through Circle. This will be done through Zoom, right? And you'll be able to join our Zoom class and basically interact kind of like how you are right now. You type out questions throughout. So say we're walking through, how to put this onto your computer, for example, how to set up Loomi on your computer. I'll walk you through it, and then you guys can share your screens. If you're stuck somewhere, you guys can ask questions. If you're like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about here, right? It's like, okay, I can explain it a little bit more. So it's very interactive. It's much more like being in an actual class, right? So you get to really pick up the stuff much faster. I'll tell you, this is by far our most popular plan. People love these live classes. I do too. I've taken some of our classes, for example, blockchain. It's a lot more fun to be part of a live class. We can ask questions. It's interactive, kind of paces you a little bit as well. So it's definitely one of the best options, right? So you get recordings, you get access to all the code, you get community, and you also get to be part of these live classes that's live over Zoom, and it's held once a week. We'll talk about the schedule in a second. Okay, so we have our self-directed, and we have our live. Then we also have a project help and tutoring plan, which lately is becoming a lot more popular. And basically what project help and tutoring is everything from self-directed, everything from live. So you get access to all the videos and the code and the community. You also get access to the live classes, so you can join live and learn live, right? But then also we'll give you extra help on top of that. And you could spend this 10 hours of extra help, and it's either could be spent on tutoring, where we'll tutor you one-on-one to go through all these things, or, and this is what a lot of people really like, is getting our developers to help out as well, right? So you can actually get our development team to spend 10 hours helping you build a bot, right? 10 hours can usually get 1 or 2 simple bots out, or help with a little bit more complicated one. But we'll actually have our development team sit down and write some code for you to actually help you with this process. So it's going to be very helpful with building your first bot. Maybe you have some ideas around this. We'll help you build kind of that beginning part, and you can modify it from there. Maybe there's a feature that you're kind of stuck on, right? And you want a little bit of help with that. We'll be able to add that on for you and get our development team involved. Right? So that's the project help and tutoring plan. You get everything from live, everything from self-directed, plus you get our development team helping you out, right? So here's the pricing for all those plans, right? Our self-directed course is about $1,600. This includes, again, video library, all that code, all the examples that we have there, access to our community, right? And then if you need to get some support, we can still give you some support as well. We could talk to Discord. If you need to get on the phone, we'll get on the phone with you as well, although it's a little bit more limited than live. But usually it's enough if you're going through this class, right? That's $1,600. It's also available in payment plans. We have 3 and 5 month payment plans available. So you pay up front, or you can pay over 3 months or 5 months. If you want, that we could also get some different type of payment plans as well. Sometimes other types of plans work better for people. We're very flexible with this sort of thing. So just let me know, or let one person on our team know if you want to have a different kind of plan. All right. So that's our self-directed. Our live classes are about $3,500, right, for the whole thing. That again can be paid in 3 or 5 months, or a custom payment plan if you prefer that. Some people just prefer to have different types of plans. And then another thing I got to know, and something I forgot to mention earlier, is the live classes. You can retake these as many times as you want, right? So it's 12 weeks of classes, and we host these every couple months. It starts. So if you were to, for example, take the class that starts coming up soon, I think April 6th, right? That class, if let's say you take it and like halfway through something happens, right? Like you get sick or you get a new job. A lot of people get jobs after coming through this class, which is very cool. But yeah, let's say you get a new job or something happens, right? Then you can pause and you can retake the class again later on in the future, right? This also goes for, technology changes over time. We were teaching these classes 2 years ago. Some people have retaken them now because we've had so much improvement in our technology. They could actually get a lot of new information from it. So you can retake these live classes as many times as you want, and you have lifetime access to all the recordings and all the code, right? That's our live classes. We also have our project help and tutoring plan. This one's $5,300 approximately. Again, also 3 and 5 month payment plans, and this includes a lot of this, actual development time if you need, right? So if you need help building out a custom project, if you need software developers involved, we could do that for you as well on top of the live classes, right? Okay. So by the way, if you click on this, you can click on select options, right? It'll take you down to the bottom here, and it shows you 2 classes that we have coming up. So next class starts April 6th, right? So I believe that's a Wednesday, right? It goes for 12 weeks, and it's 8 to 12 hours per week is what we recommend in time. But you guys can be a little bit more flexible with that. It's recommended, but you don't have to. And it's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right? Or 5 p.m. Pacific. And it's usually about 2 hours per week live over Zoom, right? If that is a little too short notice for you guys, we have another one that's also starting June 23rd, right? And this one, again, is 12 weeks long, excluding holidays, right? This one takes place on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 Pacific. It's also 2 hours per week. And this one, if you sign up for it now, you actually can save quite a bit of money. There's a 20% off coupon code that they can use. It's basically our early bird special, right? So if you want to save 20%, you could buy this now. On a live class, I'll save you like $700, right? That's a nice amount of savings if you guys are interested in that, right? Okay, but let's talk about the curriculum, and let me check to see if you guys have written anything in the chat. So Mark asks, is there a full service plan where your team builds out what I want and I don't do any of the coding? Yeah, Mark, if you want us to just build algorithms for you, you can definitely have that done. Yeah, for sure. We charge about $100 an hour for development time. So it depends on your project. How big is it, right? We can scope that out for you and kind of give you an estimate. So if you're interested, absolutely, we can do that for you, for both Mark and Tommy, if you guys are interested in that. I do recommend, though, if you buy the plan together, like the project help tutoring, it is helpful for you guys to actually know how to modify these bots. Even if you don't plan on like being this super bot developer, it's still very helpful to know how it works and how to modify it. So if you ever need to change something, you could do that too, right? But absolutely, if you want us to just build a bot for you, we can definitely do that. Right. Cool. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the course curriculum. Right. So our course is divided up into 3 parts, 4 weeks each part. Okay. So 12 weeks long, 4 weeks per part. So part 1 is basically getting you all set up, right? So week 1 is the course introduction. We have intros. Everyone gets to know each other. We make sure your system's set up properly, make sure that you have the right tools and everything, and basically make sure that you're ready for the class, right? And then the introductions are also very cool. You get to know other people that are taking the class with you. A lot of people actually end up building things together, right? People collaborate on things. So it's actually a really great way to get to know people in the community, right? Week 2 is a Python refresher. We go through Python pretty quickly, right? So that's to be respectful for people that do know how to code. We're not going to spend a crazy amount of time on it. But if you don't know how to code, we will teach you from the beginning, and we'll show you basically Python A to Z in week 2. We'll go through all that. How do if statements work, strings, functions, libraries, all that stuff we'll cover in one day, going through everything, right? Then we'll take you into an introduction into pandas and how to use pandas in the world of finance. For those of you that don't know what pandas is, it's basically a Python library that allows you to do a lot of really cool data science stuff. I'd actually go as far as to say it is the most popular and most used data science library on the planet. If you ever hear someone talking about data science, it's a very well paid profession. It's extremely useful. The jobs in it are growing very quickly, and I think the average salary is like 150 grand a year for a data scientist. But yeah, so basically, if you ever speak to a data scientist, if they don't know what pandas is, they're not a very good data scientist. Let me tell you that. It is like the most fundamental thing that you can use for data science, right? So it's like downloading data, it's like analyzing data, it's getting all that stuff together. It's basically like supercharged Excel, right? If you use Excel as a financial analyst, if you're a data scientist, you use pandas, right? So I'll teach you how to use that and how it all works, and then we'll teach you how to apply to the world of finance, right? How to get CSV files, how to download stuff, how to graph it out, how to view like one stock versus another, all that kind of stuff we'll go over in week 4, right? So that's all part 1, getting you started, right? Part 2 is applying all this data science into the finance world, right? So we'll talk about how to get stock and economic data. We'll give you tons of different ways to get that kind of data. There's Quandl, Yahoo Finance, Alpaca, Alpha Vantage. There's lots of different services that you use to get data. Everything from economic data to financials about stocks to pricing data, of course. We'll show you how to get all that information and how to work with that type of data in Python. Right. Is also when project 1 starts, and we have 2 projects. One where basically you learn how to research your strategies, and part 2 is being able to actually create a strategy. So we'll talk about those projects in a bit. This is the start of project 1, right? Okay, so working with stock and economic data. Week 2 of part 2, we teach you about financial performance metrics. So we'll show you how to get how to do the calculations, right? How do you tell if this thing's good or not, right? Is my algorithm doing well or not? Well, you want to be able to analyze that, right? You want to analyze that based on returns. Then you also want to analyze that based on risks, right? So there's a lot of ways that sophisticated hedge fund investors will do this sort of thing, and we'll teach you all of that there too. Okay. Around this time, we'll also get you into back testing. So you'll be able to, we'll basically walk through, here is one strategy, and we'll back test it, and you'll see how it would have performed if we had invested in this over X amount of years. So back testing again is, let's say I have a strategy, I put that together, I coded it. I don't want to just run it out of the box, right? I want to back test it and see how would it have done over the past. And if it did well in the past, then that's good indication that it might do well for me in the future. All right, so we teach you how to do that here. And then for the next 2 weeks, we get really deep into that. We show you many different types of strategies, and we'll show you how to back test them and get you really good at being able to build these types of things. We've recently actually revamped our class to make this even easier for you guys. And we've really spent quite a bit of time to make sure that you guys are able to build these algorithms and get up and running really quickly, right? And be able to back test them and see that you're actually building something that makes sense, right? So that's part 2. It's all about data science, all about back testing, right? Part 3 is actually building this bot, linking into a broker, and making sure that you can actually trade. So we'll spend a lot of time talking about that. This has been rejigged a little bit, but basically in part 3, we're going to go through lots of different examples. You're going to see our Reddit trading bot. We'll walk through how that works. We'll walk through our technical analysis bot and how that works. We'll walk through, you guys will actually get a crypto bot as well. We'll show you how to connect to crypto brokers and how to do that. Not super in detail, mind you. We do have an entire class on crypto trading. If that's something you're interested in, that class might be more appropriate if you want to just learn crypto trading. This class will touch on it, but won't go super, super deep into it. But you will know how to do that by coming through this class. We'll also show you trading economic indicators. We'll show you trading using just sound principles. There's lots and lots of different bots that we'll show you. I'll walk through one bot at a time. Basically, each one of these days, you'll learn something new, right? And you'll get a new bot and one that you could actually just run a computer right out of the box if you want to, right? And then week 4 is a special day as well. We'll teach you how to do machine learning, which is very, very cool. It's basically using artificial intelligence to trade, right? Really, really powerful strategy. I've seen some people make a ton of money doing this stuff, especially in crypto. We have an entire course on just machine learning for trading. So if you're interested in that, you could take that and really get deep into it. But in this class, we'll also touch on it. We'll spend a week basically just going through machine learning, so you kind of get your feet wet and you know basically what it's about and how it works, right? Cool, awesome. So that's the curriculum. I want to see if you guys have any questions here, right? So Mark says, okay, great. Thanks, makes sense to know how to do it too. Yeah, definitely, absolutely. This hand drive's full. Awesome, sounds great. Yeah, I hope to see you guys in the class. This would be great. Very cool. So Tommy asks, what is the offering that allows you to use the bot out of the box? I mean, all of them, right? Any one of our classes that you take, you get access to the code. So you'll be able to run these bots out of the box. You're just going to take our code and just run that, right? So if you take our self-directed class, you'll be able to do that, or live class, or project help, any one of those, you can do it. Of course, what the thing that changes is you get more and more hand holding as you go through, right? If you want to just watch the videos yourself and go through it on your own, you can do it self-directed. Feel free to do that. If you want to learn live and interact with the instructor, in this case, the instructor is myself. If you want to learn live, you want to ask questions while we're going through this, get lots of like video help. The live class helps there. Or the project help tutoring plan, it takes it even further than that. You get to be part of live class. And we also write some code for you as well, if that's what you want to do. Okay. So hopefully it makes sense to you, Tommy. Okay, so I already spoke about the upcoming live classes. Next one starts fairly soon, in about 2 weeks. Today is Thursday, so even less than 2 weeks. So if you guys want to join, make sure that you sign up. Basically, you'd go to the page I sent to you. I'll send this to you again one more time. There we go. Basically, go to that page and go here, click on select course. It'll get added to your cart. Right, so here I have 2 on my cart. I'm just going to delete this one, just have 1 in here. Okay. If you have a coupon code, you can put it in here, right? You know, if you're buying the early bird, you can apply the coupon, you can get that savings there. Then if you're interested in anything else, there's also other ones down here, or other courses. Then you click on proceed to checkout. You basically put in your information here. You can pick, do you want to pay with a payment plan or not? So if you want a payment plan, you can do that here. If not, you can just pay up front, right? It's pretty easy to do that. Fill in your address, your credit card, and now we support PayPal as well. It's a new thing. And then place your order, and that's it. And you'll automatically get access to these classes. You'll right away, whichever plan you purchase, you'll automatically get access to the videos right away. So you can actually go in and start learning right now if you wanted to, right? Even if you're planning on taking the live classes, you could even get started now. You don't have to wait until class starts. But of course, when class do start, we'll be able to go through all that stuff live with you as well, right? Okay, so again, coming back to the course itself, we've spoken about our different plans. We've spoken about our curriculum, upcoming live classes. I briefly mentioned the projects. There's going to be 2 projects that you go through this in this class. One of them is going to be analyzing investment strategies. So you're going to be doing lots of back testing, downloading data, all that sort of thing to analyze your strategies and see if or what makes sense for you. And then project 2 is going to be actually building a live trading bot, connecting it to a broker, and having this thing actually trade for you. And during that time, we're going to be going over lots of different examples that you can learn from. Yeah, if you want to learn a little bit about myself, you can learn about myself here as well. It's not the latest information about me, but you can also check out my LinkedIn and see, you know, worked at Voyager in the past and worked at Greystone. So definitely have a lot of experience on Wall Street as well. And then also, I mean, don't take my word for it. You can join our community, learn, ask people in Discord what they think, right? You could also watch videos of our past students, and this is just them talking about their experience in the class. Agim came to us, didn't know how to code when he first started. He's built quite a few things by this point. Renee did have coding experience and learned quite a bit. Santayan has built some really cool bots. Last I heard, this guy's making like 400 or 500% using his bots, 400 or 500% a year. So you know, you have a bunch of different people here they could kind of get their opinions from and learn from. We've had a lot of very happy customers that we pride ourselves on that. So feel free to read through any of these testimonials here. You could also go to more testimonials, and you can see even more testimonials in this. We still need to add a few more, but yeah, you can watch quite a few of them here, right? Cool. All right, so that's pretty much it for the class. Remember, it starts in 2 weeks, so if you want to sign up, make sure you sign up sooner rather than later. Cassandra, if you want a coupon code, I'm not sure if I mean if you're buying the one in June, you do get the 20% off. If you speak to some people on our team, they might be able to hook you up with something as well. So Cassandra, if you're interested in that, reach out to someone on our team, Fisnik, Alicia, and they can probably set you up with something as well, right? And make sure that you're all settled in, right? Cool. Do you have an options video? Kyle asks. So Kyle, yes, we do have options. We have an entire class on options trading, right? So if you're interested in this class, you can go ahead and purchase it here. We're not doing our live classes right now, so we need to take this down. We only have self-directed. The person that actually taught this options class, he got a job at a quantitative hedge fund, paying him a lot more money than we used to pay him. So we're not going to be teaching live classes for a little bit. Because he's literally not allowed to teach it or do anything outside of the hedge fund. It's like golden handcuffs. They pay you a lot of money, but you can't do anything else. But if you're interested in those videos, you could definitely buy the self-directed class here that goes over how to do all that stuff with options trading, right? Cool. Thanks for your question, Kyle. And then also, if you want to see, by the way, if you're interested in like the webinar, like what we just went through today for options, you could also go in here and you can watch our past options webinars. So I'll send you that link. There we go. And you can watch one of our past options webinars. We have lots of videos on there. Cool. All right, awesome. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions, I'll stick around for a bit longer. If you have any questions, you know, it'll take a little bit of time to type it out, so I'll hang around a bit. But yeah, hopefully I see you guys in these classes coming up. It's starting very soon. And definitely it's very exciting to whenever we start a new class. This time around, it's going to be really cool too, because we'll actually cover crypto in it as well. I think it's awesome. I've been seeing some people make some really, really cool crypto bots. I've spoken to people on the phone that have made like a really ridiculous returns using bots and crypto. So very excited about getting that started as well. So Cassandra, here you could email Cassandra. Yeah, so Cassandra, if you want to email Alicia at loomiwealth.com, or for anyone else, for that matter, if you guys are interested in this course and you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. She can get you all set up. And then Shane asks, can we make a bot to trade NFTs? That is a great question, Shane. Not yet, but we will be adding that functionality in the future. I think that'd be very, very cool to do that. So answer is not yet, but we are working on it. We're planning on doing that. That's a great question. Definitely want to do that. I think there's a lot of value in doing something like that. No problem, Cassandra. Cool, awesome. So any other questions before we go leave for tonight? You guys have been a great group, by the way. Thank you very much. I love how active you are. It's been a pleasure having you guys on this call. I love it when people ask lots of questions. We can really dig into things. And hopefully you guys can join these classes, and we'll see you guys in the class, and we'll build some really cool bots together, you know? And again, if you're interested in any of our above services in this class, or us building a bot or anything else, feel free to email Alicia. You could also email me. You could also, I respond to like everything. You could respond to me on Circle, on Discord. I read all these things. I feel like I spend most of my day answering messages lately, but that's cool because that's kind of how we make sure that you guys are happy and we make sure that things are going well for all of you. Right. Great. Thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Shane. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the class coming up soon. Right. Have a great day. Later, guys. Yeah. And Kyle, yeah, for sure. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Discord. Definitely. Have a great night, guys. Thank you.